Hi, day 11 of our 14 days through Genesis, and today we read Genesis 37 to 40. And man, as I get to Genesis 37, every time I read through the Bible, it's like my heart begins to flutter and I begin to feel excited. There are certain stories in the Bible, as I read my Bible from Genesis to Revelation over and over again, there's certain stories as I get to them that I get as excited, as moved by every single time I get to them. So another example is the story of Hezekiah's life, the story of Josiah's life, obviously the whole story of Jesus and the culmination of what happened at the cross and then the resurrection. Those stories always move me. The parable of the prodigal son. I don't think I've ever read that parable without crying. I've read that hundreds and hundreds of times. But there are just certain mountaintop moments in Scripture. And if you've never experienced that, man, you haven't lived. And this is one of those mountaintop moments, the story of Joseph. In fact, this story has captivated not only Christians through the centuries, but non-Christians too. Major, Broadway plays and West End plays about the story of Joseph's life. It is an incredible story. And the amazing thing to remember is that it's true. This is human history. This is the story of God preparing the world eventually for the coming of the Messiah over 1,000 years later. And my observation from the story, my fresh observation, was from the words of Joseph's brothers as he approaches them in the field just before they now strip him of his cloak, they throw him in a pit, and then they sell him to the Ishmaelite traders as a slave. As they see him coming, they say these words. Now this is chapter 37 verses 19 and 20. They saw him coming. Then they said to one another, "Look, this dreamer is coming." Now that was obviously referring to the dreams that that Joseph had about their sheaves in the field bowing down to his sheaf. And then, is it sheaf or sheath? I'm not a farmer, okay? And then the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down to him again. And they said, now here comes this dreamer. And then they say this, "Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, some wild beast has devoured him." Now listen to this. "We shall see what will become of his dreams." We shall see what will become of his dreams. Indeed you shall, O man. Indeed you shall. It will take 28 years, and those years will be filled with bitterness, struggle, and the regret of a guilty conscience, but you shall certainly see what becomes of those dreams, because those dreams were the promises of God. There is no stubbornness or rebellion that can overcome the plans and judgments of God. And there is no opposition which can rob you as a Christian of his promises. It took 28 years from that moment to the moment when Joseph's brothers were bowing down to him, when he was the head of all Egypt, the most powerful nation on earth. And they came bowing down before him. 28 years it took. And yet those words that were said in rebellion, "We shall see what becomes of his dreams," were actually prophetic, because they certainly did see what became of those dreams. And it was just this way in the life of Jesus and those who opposed him. In Mark chapter 15, I was reminded of these words this morning. I want to read them to you. This is Jesus on the cross, verses 29 to 30, 29 to 32. "And those who passed by as Jesus was hanging on the cross, they blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, 'Aha, you who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross.' Likewise, the chief priests, also mocking among themselves with the scribes, said, 'He saved others, himself he cannot save. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, now descend from the cross, that we may see and believe.'" that we may see and believe. Oh, now we'll see what comes of all your claims to be the Messiah. Indeed, you will see, oh man. And my friend, if I may address you this morning directly, so will you. You will see what comes of the claims of Jesus and what many have said of the Christian hope, that it's just a dream, it's a figment of their imagination. You will see what comes of those dreams, because those dreams, the promises of the gospel, are the promises of God, and they will be fulfilled. And so you will either see and bow down to the Christ in love and in grateful worship as he welcomes you into his everlasting kingdom after you die. And you will see what has come of all the promises of the gospel, of all the things that you've been hanging on to in faith through your life. You will see, your eyes will see the fulfillment of the promises of God. And it may take many, many years before you see those promises, but you will. Or you will see the fulfillment of the gospel promises with terror and regret as the angels rip you from your grave and you find yourself standing before a holy and almighty judge on that great and final day. You will see what comes of the gospel promises, that God is going to judge every sin. And so I want to encourage you this morning, wherever you are in your walk with God, whether you have not yet accepted his forgiveness, which was purchased for you by his Son Jesus Christ on the cross. If you've not yet received that, receive it today. Today is the day of salvation, because know this, my friend, you will see the fulfillment of all that the gospel promises will happen, and that of that great day of judgment which is coming. And if you are a Christian and you are weary and you are struggling, just know this, my friend, God has not forgotten the promises that he's made you, and your eyes will see the fulfillment of all his goodness and the inheritance that is laid up for you in heaven. And so may God bless you. Now, if you are wanting to know more about the promises of God in the gospel, can I encourage you to do something? It's going to take about an hour, but can I encourage you to click on the link that you see here if you're on YouTube? Otherwise, I'll put a link on Facebook in the post. Please go and watch that service. It was the Easter service that I ran via webinar, because during coronavirus we were locked down. And I want you to go and listen to that message on the promises of the gospel as I shared them on Easter. And I believe it'll be a great blessing to you. So you can click on that video or find the link in the post, and then I'll see you again tomorrow.